you have to remember that there are 5 distinct areas within the syllabus. Firstly, we could look at costing methods. Now, of course, costing methods builds on what you should already know from F2, or whatever it is that you were exempted from to make sure you didn't do F2. Now, don't worry too much about that. We could go into vast detail about the costing method area, but the examiner is interested here in how the costing methods may be improved or enhanced to reflect the fact that things have changed in recent years. Secondly, possibly the single most important area is decision making, simply because there's lots of it. It's all based around relevant cost ideas. But at the same stage, when we look at decision making, there are lots of different angles. For example, linear programming has already been heavily examined, but there are many other bits that you can reasonably expect to come up here. And I'm assuming the examiner to just knock them off one after the other. Also, there's a lot of depth to it. There are many different angles that the examiner may play here. Thirdly, budgeting. Of all the 5 areas, this is probably the smallest. Having said that, we cannot discount or ignore it, simply because we must expect some heavy discursive areas to turn up here. And, so far, budgeting has been conspicuous by its absence, or at least in the first couple of sittings it has been. Then we look at variances. Maybe I should say standard costing and variances. Now, you should have some background on this from F2, but that doesn't stop the examiner from examining the basics. Without the basics, you have no chance in doing the more fun stuff that the examiner may ask you to do. Again, this is an area where the examiner is going to be extremely big on discussion and comment, rather than just the computation. In fact, the calculation of the variances is something that we should be able to do, fine. But if we can or cannot do them, a very interesting thing about the way the examiner deals with this is that he makes sure that you can always comment in spite of the fact that you may have difficulty with the numbers. And then, finally, we have an area called performance evaluation, or measurement, or appraisal. And your examiner, in those articles that he's written, has again and again talked about the importance of performance evaluation. In fact, what we've seen in recent exams is that he's linked performance evaluation to variances and budgeting. So we can expect those sort of cross-links every time.